This is the Pimax Crystal, and Pimax sent me this headset to test it out and provide you with an honest review of what I think about the headset and whether it is suitable for you. As always, I am not a technician or a professional hardware reviewer, but what I can offer are my impressions of this headset as a PCVR sim gamer. Let's start with the price. The Pimax Crystal is currently priced at around $1,500. You can also choose to pay it over a 24-month period, and yes, it is pricey, but I will explain why this might be worth it for PCVR. Now for this price, let's first see what's included in the box. My last VR headset review was for the Pico 4, which was very small and therefore felt somewhat cheap. This one is the opposite. The headset is big and as a result feels also premium. My girlfriend calls it the Robocop for its size. Now interestingly, the weight of the headset comes somewhat closer to the price. This headset is around 1 kilogram, just a bit more, whereas the Pico 4 for reference is 800 grams. So when you put on this somewhat larger unit on your head, it is naturally a little bit heavier and it takes some time to getting used to, especially if you are used to something more lightweight like the Pico 4. However, I don't think the headset is too heavy that it spoils the fun. It's just less comfortable than other headsets around there. But considering all the technology inside, some compromises are expected and the clear image makes up for it. Looking at the exterior, the Pimax Crystal comes with 4 tracking cameras, so there is no need for base stations, which I love. In the front we have buttons to control the headset, volume and IPD settings. There are 2 nice speakers on each side for spatial audio, and in the back, yes, there is a battery or space for a battery because this is also a standalone device. And for PCVR, yes, you also need to insert a battery in the back. And I will cover this in more detail later. The battery in the back though helps with the weight balance. Now on the side, we find the best feature. An easy to use DisplayPort connector to connect a DisplayPort cable from the headset to the computer, providing a very crisp image, which I will showcase later in the video. And this is something missing in many recent headsets. Before we dive deeper, in the box along with all the necessary cables, we can find the controllers, which are very similar to the Quest 2 controllers, although they have an extra button which I find convenient, and the joystick on the Pimax controller is somewhat bigger, which I prefer over the Quest 2. However, since I mostly use this headset for simulation games, I rarely use the controllers, but for the limited use I had, especially in Aerofly FS4, I had no complaints or tracking problems. I have heard and tried it myself, like that playing Beat Saber or similar games isn't ideal with these controllers. However, you can order a Lighthouse faceplate that will work with the base stations of the Index. Now one more positive aspect about the controllers is that you can charge them with a USB-C cable, so no need to constantly switch out the batteries as you have to do with the Quest 2 or the Pico 4. As for the setup, it is not entirely plug and play. There is some cable management to do. There is a USB power hub included to extend battery life, along with an AC adapter. Now you plug the USB cables into the hub, the DisplayPort cable into your computer, and the other end goes into your headset. It is not very complicated, and after about 10 minutes I was ready to go, and from the get-go, right from the start, this headset delivers a fantastic experience for those who play a lot of simulation games. Think of Microsoft Flight Simulator, iRacing, Assetto Corsa, Aerofly, DCS, any other seated simulation games. Now, out of all the headsets I have, and here is the focus of this review, I have never used any of them for standalone games on the Quest or the Pico 4, just PCVR. And that's the focus of this review again. I don't think you should spend $1,500 on the Pimax Crystal if you are only interested in standalone gaming. I did try it with the Pimax Crystal. There is a button on the headset that you can switch and then it will turn into a standalone gaming headset. But it's just, it's not what you would expect, especially considering the weight of the headset. I can't see people using it for like sports or something like that. Additionally, the standalone interface and library are not very robust as what's already available. So, get it for the ultimate simulation experience and you won't be disappointed. And here's why. First, let's talk about the lenses. Pimax has always been praised for its image quality and wide field of view. To achieve this, many components come together, but at the core are the glass aspheric lenses. There's also no tiny sweet spot like the PSVR 2. Wherever you look in the Pimax Crystal, it's sharp. It has the highest pixel per degree PPD of any consumer headset with 35 PPD. For comparison, here's the Quest 2 with a PPD of 20, which results in a somewhat blurrier image. So 35 PPD is incredibly high, and it's sharp as you can see in the picture here. With 5760 pixels horizontally and 2880 pixels vertically, it has the most pixels of any headset as shown in the following graph. A very nice extra feature is the Auto IPD adjuster. I always struggle with getting the lenses just right, but the Pimax Crystal does that for you. With the eye tracking feature in the Pimax Crystal, it always automatically sets the IPD correctly. So every time you put on the headset, it checks it for you, it just sees if it's correctly, and you're good to go. And this really helps to prevent motion sickness. This leads us to the eye tracking feature though, because with the integrated Tobii eye tracking, it enables dynamic foveated rendering. Oh, and I love it. This means that the game sharpens the image only where you are looking and blurs the rest. This feature can boost performance in most games that support it, like Elite Dangerous here. Besides the super clear image, there is also zero light leakage from outside the AMG. When the screen is black, it's pitch black inside, creating an incredibly immersive experience. Now, to enable all of these features like eye tracking, the Pimax Crystal comes with its own software. In this software you have a variety of settings, including enabling eye tracking and adjusting refresh rates. You can choose between 90 and 120 frames. I usually keep it at 90. There's also a Pimax Sim edition, by the way, that can be set to 72 frames or hertz. And this version is somewhat cheaper. It comes without controllers. Now, while there are many settings, it can be a bit overwhelming to tweak them all. But I mean, as simmers, don't we love to fine-tune settings? I found myself adjusting the resolution quite often, especially in games like DCS, because that's heavier, and in Elite Dangerous I could put them higher. So yeah, keep that in mind. As I mentioned earlier, the headset comes with batteries because you can use it as a standalone headset. However, I hope that in future iterations or versions, they might remove this feature to make the headset lighter and more affordable. Currently, the Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 chip that's inside requires any headset to have a battery, which I don't really mind that much. I mean, the Pimax comes with 2 batteries, so when one is empty, you can swap it out for another one. However, the process isn't the smoothest right now. Removing the battery can be quite tricky. But don't worry, there's like a small little battery in the headset, so when you take out the battery, it doesn't stop. You have some time to put in the other battery. Pretty nice. Now, I don't have very long playing sessions myself, but they claim the battery can last as long as 3.5 to 4 hours, which should be more than sufficient for most gamers here. Now, a quick note on the audio. I am not an audiophile, but there is something I really like about these earphones attached to the HMD. They don't touch your ears, providing a nice spatial audio experience. And this also makes me a little bit more aware of my surroundings in case my girlfriend is calling me. And the headphones are also very easily adjustable, and you can even take them out if you want. So why choose this headset over the Vaio Aero, for example? Now, while I haven't personally tested the Vaio Aero, I can provide one reason to go for the Pimax. As I mentioned earlier, the Pimax doesn't require base stations, which is fantastic. I don't need precise tracking while playing simulation games, and I don't want base stations cluttering my house. Now, compared to the Pico 4 or Quest 2 or 3, it's the clarity that sets the Pimax apart. Playing Elite Dangerous first with the Pimax and then switching to the Pico 4, the difference is super clear. The Pico 4 is already super sharp, but the Crystal takes it to the next level. However, keep in mind that the Pico 4 is much more affordable. So if you are new to VR, it's maybe a very good starting point. If you really enjoy VR and want to, you want to get the best, you can consider upgrading to the Pimax Crystal. In summary, the clarity of the headset is the best I have seen. It offers the same clarity as playing on a 1080p 2K flat screen, which is absolutely amazing for simulation games or any other seated experiences. Due to its weight, I wouldn't recommend it for a fast-paced standing action games like Resident Evil or any sports game or Half-Life Alyx, but I understand some people might enjoy it for the visual quality it provides. Aside from the clarity, the eye tracking feature is what I love, absolutely the best. Enabling this feature for extra performance in games is fantastic. The performance boost depends on the game a little bit, but the extra frames are always welcome when playing at such high resolutions. Now regarding standalone use, you know my opinion. I hope they will get rid of this feature, making the headset lighter and cheaper. Because with the stop of support for the HP reverb, this headset, the Pimax Crystal, could become the go-to choice for many at a lower price. As of now, if you have the money and a powerful PC, this is a fantastic headset for gamers who love simulations. It also beats triple screen setups in my opinion. So right now, if you have a triple screen setup, you need to make space. This is really a fantastic alternative. Now right now, I am going back to another world called Elite Dangerous. So I hope this first impressions review provides you with a quick insight into the headset. I plan to create more benchmark videos with this headset, so feel free to subscribe to this channel if you want to stay updated. And if you want to purchase this headset yourself, there is a link below to the purchase page. Now, as always, I hope to see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.